Yo, what is good, YouTube? It's your boy, the ZD Special, back with another special video for you guys. And in today's video, we are welcoming the Honolulu Breeze to the NBA with an all 40 overall team. You guys already saw the thumbnail, but this team's going to have all 40 overall starting off, and we're going to see how long it takes this team to rebuild and eventually win a championship. So I am going to have everything set to be automatically done by the CPU during this video. So as you can see, everything is turned on, which leaves me to believe that there is not going to be very many Breck the Bots left on the team past Season 1, but that'll still present a pretty hefty challenge for the team to rebuild. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and sim the first season of this. I don't anticipate very many close games, and we'll see exactly how bad this team does year one. Alright, so here at the end of Season 1, this team very unsurprisingly won 0 games, lost all 82, and they ended up giving up 150 points per game and only averaged 32 points per game, which is obviously what's going to happen when you have no real players on the team, and especially with all 40s on the roster. So we'll go ahead and sim through the playoffs here real quick. See who takes the championship year one. Hopefully, eventually, this team can get to that point, but definitely not going to be this season, as the Spurs make it out of the West and the Knicks make it out of the East. And it's going to be the Knicks in 6 over the San Antonio Spurs. All right, here we are at the draft lottery in this first offseason. The Breeze have a 14% chance at the first pick, but I think with them being an expansion team, well, okay, no. So this isn't officially an expansion team because I added them before the season. So I'm not sure if that's going to like guarantee them like a third or fourth pick, or if they actually have a chance at the first pick. So let's go ahead and see when I sim the results if they can land it. They do land the first pick, and we do have the actual 2026 draft loaded in. So they have a chance of drafting AJ DeBonsa, Darren Peterson, Caleb Wilson, one of those top guys in this next draft. So that's going to be their first real addition to the team. And then we'll get into the offseason moves to see what the team does in terms of free agent signings. All right, so with the first pick in the 2026 NBA draft, the Honolulu Breeze select Darren Peterson to be the savior for Hawaii's first NBA franchise. Let's go ahead and see who the team signs in free agency. So we did also have the first pick in the second round, which they used to sign Tahad Pettiford from Auburn. So 2 real players on the team, only like 12 more to go. And it looks like the only free agent signing in Season 1 is going to be Keaton Wallace. The Bots all have 4-year contracts starting from the first season, so it's possible this team is kind of stuck in purgatory for the first few. But I guess we'll see if they like end up releasing any of them. But yeah, so far we only have 3 actual players on the roster. Let's see if we can get into Season 2 and potentially win, I don't know, maybe like 2 games. That'd be improvement from last year at least. Alright, so the actual roster for this team going into Season 2 is going to be Darren Peterson, Keaton Wallace, Tahad Pettiford, and then Jaden Bradley. Every other player is still Breck the Bots 40 overall on this team. So yeah, let's go ahead and get to the end of Season 2 and see what this team's record is. Alright, so it looks like right before Season 2 started, Breeze management decided to get a bunch of the Brecks out of here. So obviously a few additions being Day'Ron Sharpe, Precious Achiuwa, Justin Champagnie, Jonathan Mogbo, Dariq Whitehead, Josh Green, Colby Jones, Keaton Wallace obviously on the team, Tahad Pettiford, Jaden Bradley, and then every other player still on the roster is Breck the Bots. So actually a somewhat competent team this year. They probably won't win more than like 20 games if I had to guess, but let's go ahead and get to the end of the season and I guess see how they do. All right, here we are with the end of season rewards. Of course, Wemby wins the MVP. Darren Peterson, Rookie of the Year. No really shocker there, as he averages 27, 8, and 6 on pretty decent shooting splits as a rookie. Sixth Man of the Year was Kel'el Ware. Victor Wembanyama wins Defensive Player of the Year. Scoot Henderson, Most Improved Player. LaMelo Ball is the Clutch Player of the Year. He almost averaged 30 points a game. Jason Kidd, Coach of the Year, and Cade Cunningham, NBA Cup MVP. So we do get Darren Peterson on the All-NBA second team as a rookie, only an 82 overall, but of course I'm sure that's going to go up just a little bit more than that. I don't think there were any other awards for us. Tahad Pettiford actually was on rookie first team as well. He averaged 14 and 4 on pretty disgusting efficiency, not in a good way. And anyone else? Nope, that's it. And surprisingly, this wasn't even the worst team in the conference this year. We went 27 and 55, which was one win better than the Utah Jazz. We scored 107 per game, gave up 114, and the Jazz were a much better offense than us, but their defense was absolutely horrendous. They averaged 128 points allowed while scoring 116. So we'll go ahead and see who wins this playoffs and then get into the next season. And the Mavericks take down the Pistons in the conference finals in a sweep, and Cooper Flagg is the finals MVP. Here are the stats for the rest of the team for this past season. Nothing too impressive, so I'm just going to kind of scroll through here. See anything that sticks out, let me know. But aside from Darren Peterson, this team is pretty much mud. All right, so here at our second draft lottery, we've dropped all the way down to the fourth highest odds at the number 1 pick. So let's go ahead and see where the team lands. And we end up with the second pick in this draft. So a lot more talent coming into the roster. Let's go ahead and see who we draft, and then we'll see what the team does in free agency. All right, here we are at the 2027 draft. The Jazz take Stefan Joksimovic with the first overall pick, and the Breeze are going to pick up Tyron Stokes with the second overall pick. Of the very few prospects I know of in this draft, he's one of them, and I've seen tons of crazy clips of him dunking on, like 15-year-old high schoolers. But I think he's going to be pretty good in the NBA, but definitely a good addition to this team. All right, and here with the 35th pick, the team picks up Elliot Cadeo, maybe? So yeah, another player drafted to this team, but I guess at this point it's not as important for these second round picks since they made a couple free agent signings before this last season. So maybe he'll play, maybe he won't, but let's go ahead and get into free agency. So Tahad Pettiford, who was all rookie first team this past season, the team has decided to decline his team option. I kind of wanted to just override what they were going to do and keep him, but I'll go ahead and let it ride. But yeah, he's going to be going into free agency down 1 player. All right, so this free agency class is filled with some pretty awesome players like Giannis, Jokic, Donovan Mitchell, Kyrie, Kevin Durant, who's obviously really old, Karl Anthony Towns, Amin Thompson, the list goes on. But I think we only have like 10 players officially on the roster now. What does it say there? 11. We have 11 players on the roster, so I expect the team to try and sign at least one of these top guys, but let's go ahead and sim through and see who they end up picking up. Okay, so unfortunately no marquee signings for the Honolulu Breeze, but they do pick up Saddiq Bey, bring back Keaton Wallace, and then also sign Elijah Martin for some added depth, I guess, is a 69 overall. But yeah, this team is very slowly rebuilding to a competitive team. So let's go ahead and get to the end of season 3 and see if we can improve on that 27 and 55 record. And on the last day of free agency, in a shocking turn of events, the Honolulu Breeze are going to pick up Bryce James for the team. We'll see if he ends up developing into anything for them. But yeah, that was the very last day of free agency. Let's go ahead and get into next season. So now that the team has somewhat of a competent rotation, I wanted to go ahead and take a look. So Keaton Wallace is the starting point guard with Darren Peterson, Tyron Stokes, Saddiq Bey, Jonathan Mogbo rounding out the rest of the starting 5. And then the benches, Dariq Whitehead, Will Riley, PJ Hall, Noah Kowaku Hiji, and Bryce James at the 10 spot. Okay. Here at the end of Season 3, Wemby wins another MVP. Tyron Stokes is your Rookie of the Year, so back-to-back Rookie of the Years for the Honolulu Breeze. AJ Mitchell is 6th Man of the Year on the Lakers, and then Wemby, of course, wins Defensive Player of the Year. Most Improved, AJ Dubonsa. Clutch Player of the Year, Devin Booker. And we do get Darren Peterson on the first team All-NBA. He averaged 27.5, 8.5 boards, almost 7 assists, with pretty solid defense as well, and great efficiency. And unsurprisingly, no playoffs yet for this team, but we did improve by a few games. We went 31 and 51, only a negative 3.6 point differential, so definitely some improvement. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the team stats. All right, so we already looked at Darren Peterson's averages. Tyron Stokes, kind of already saw that too, but 17, 6, and almost 5 assists for him. Will Riley averaged 13, 3, and 2.5. Elliot Kadu averaged 11 and only one assist. Is I think the team's starting point guard. Not very good efficiency either. We're just gonna call this guy Noah. He averaged 10 points. Good job, Noah. Jaden Bradley averaged just under 10 points. Sadiq Bey about 9 points, and then the rest of the team not really doing too much. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get through this season's playoffs, and once again see where we land in the draft lottery, and I guess what they end up signing in free agency. All right, so the Spurs win the championship over the Pistons in 5 games. And I'm going to take a wild guess that Victor Wembanyama is the Finals MVP. Wow, shocker. There he is. All right, so here at the draft lottery for the 2028 NBA draft, we've dropped down to the 6th overall odds for the number 1 pick. I expect that to slowly dwindle and dwindle, lessening our chances at top prospects in the draft. But let's go ahead and see where we end up. We end up with the first pick. So we've had the first pick, second pick, and then now the first pick in the first 3 drafts. So I'm going to assume they're going to draft a pretty solid player here. But let's go ahead and see what the team ends up drafting. All right, here with the first pick, the Breeze select C.J. Rosser from Kentucky. I've done a couple sims with this guy in it, and he seems to be pretty good. So pretty well-rounded starting 5 we're building here with this team. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into free agency and see who we can pick up. And it looks like the Breeze are going to let Elliot Kadu go in free agency, but obviously picking up the option on Darren Peterson as the first overall pick in the 2026 draft. All right, so the team has the chance to do something pretty insane. Luka Doncic is a free agent. We'll see if they try to pick him up. The rest of the class isn't that impressive, I guess. You have John Morant. Stephen Castle is going to go back to the Spurs. Alex Sarr, he'll probably go back to the Wizards. Risache, I'm not sure. The Hawks might not match his offer. But then Zion Williamson, Reed Shepard, Jared McCain, and a 35-year-old Anthony Davis at the top of this free agent class. So let's go ahead and see what the Breeze pick up. So nothing overly impressive with our signings. They did retain Dariq Whitehead, but also brought in Jet Howard, Reese Beekman, brought back Jaden Bradley, and then also signed Ian Jackson. And here's a quick look at how the team is looking progression-wise. Darren Peterson at a 91, Tyron Stokes is an 84, and then Dariq Whitehead is our 3rd highest player at an 82. And sadly, this is going to be the last year of Breck the Bot on the team. Only 1 year left for all the ones we still have. So, assuming he doesn't play any games, we're just going to sim past the rest of the season. But I'll let you guys know if he ends up playing any more games, because that would be pretty funny with how deep the team is now. But here is the roster. We have Darren Peterson, Tyron Stokes, Dariq Whitehead. C.J. Rosser is an 81 C.J. Rosser is an 81 overall rookie. And then we have Will Riley still, Sadiq Bey, Noah, P.J. Hall, Jet Howard, all 78 overalls. And then Isaiah Jackson at 77, and then Ian Jackson at 74. All right, and here's a quick look at the rotations for this upcoming year. So let's go ahead and see how they finish record-wise in this 4th season of the sim. Quite the turnaround for the Breeze this season. We'll get into that in a second. Wemby is the MVP. C.J. Rosser wins Rookie of the Year, so back-to-back Rookie of the Years for this team. Josh Giddey was the 6th Man of the Year. Victor Wembanyama, Defensive Player of the Year. Dash Daniels, Most Improved. Nikola Jokic was the Clutch Player of the Year. And Bilal Coulibaly was the NBA Cup MVP. And in terms of other awards, we do get Darren Peterson once again on the All-NBA first team, and he also ended up making the All-Defensive second team. So like I mentioned just a second ago, this team improved a ton this season as we finished as the 2nd seed in the West, 57-25 record. I believe last season we went 31-51, so that's a 26 win improvement, quick math. We averaged a 6.7 point differential, pretty decent defense, and our offense was over 120 points per game, so I can't complain too much. All right, and here we are with player averages for this season. Darren Peterson averages just shy of 30 points per game, 8 boards, 8 assists. C.J. Rosser averages 18, 8, and 6, and then Tyron Stokes averaging 16, 5, and 5. The big 3 for this team is definitely looking bright potential-wise. These two probably have a lot of room to go in terms of overall. Darren Peterson, he's only still 22, so he could even go up to like as close as like a 99. We'll see, I guess, on that. But really solid foundation for this team. The bench guys are doing their job. So let's go ahead and see who we end up playing in this first round, which is going to be the Lakers, who I believe lost Luka. Who's on their team now? They have Jared McCain, Dalton Connect, Okoro, Anthony Davis returns to the Lakers, and Walker Kessler. So let's see if they can take them out in this first round matchup. We're just going to sim right past it. And we do win in the first round, but now we have to play the Spurs and Wembanyama. Probably not going to end well, but we'll see. Yep, they beat us in 5. So no championship in year number 4, but let's go ahead and get into the offseason for year number 5. All right, so the Suns win the championship in this one, and I think the Pistons have made the last 3 finals, but have lost all of them. So yeah, Devin Booker is the Finals MVP. Finally brings a championship to Phoenix. Hopefully, we can follow in short order and bring one to Honolulu. All right, and the final pick of the first round in this draft, we pick up Ivan Dragic. Oh wait, I can't say that. And with the 30th pick in the first round, the team selected Ivan Bogaric. And of course, no surprise, the Breeze are going to pick up the options on Darren Peterson and Tyron Stokes contracts, but they're going to decline the option on Marte Barnes. All right, so I wasn't expecting much from this free agency class, but somehow we finessed away Derek Queen from the Pelicans. They must not have matched his contract, but we pick him up on a 4-year, $106 million deal. So awesome addition at the center position for this team. Let's go ahead and get into the rotations for this coming season. Here is the roster for year number 5. Darren Peterson up to a 92. CJ Rosser is up to an 88. Tyron Stokes is up to an 85. And then Derek Queen, of course, at an 85 overall. Dariq Whitehead at an 82. And then the rest of the team is pretty much 80 and below. Well, we'll get a look at the actual rotation for the team, and we'll see how they do at the end of Season 6. Okay, so Topic wasn't on the screen at the end of actual free agency, so they must have signed him to a 1-year deal for this year, but he's going to be starting at point guard alongside Darren Peterson at the shooting guard position. Tyron Stokes is our starting small forward. CJ Rosser, Derek Queen, Dariq Whitehead, Will Riley, Jet Howard, Sadiq Bey, and Isaiah Jackson rounding out the rest of the rotation. This team honestly could win it this year with the signing of Queen and honestly Topic too. Really solid squad overall. But let's go ahead and get to the end of Season 5, not 6, and see how they finish. Here we are at the end of season awards. Wembanyama is the MVP for, I think, the 4th straight year. Colton Hiller is the Rookie of the Year. Ognen Sirsen. That cannot be a real name, dude. That cannot. I'm about to look that up, actually. Hold on. All right, now, we're looking this up because I do not believe that this is a real person. What's his name? Ogden Sir. Oh. Wait a minute. Oh, he is a real person. Oh, well, forget me then. He plays for Serbia. Okay, well, myth busted. Victor Wembanyama, Defensive Player of the Year. He also won Most Improved. Holy cow. Oh wait, did I just No, he was 6th man and Most Improved. Dang. Scoot Henderson, Clutch Player of the Year, averaging 27 and 8. Wow. Darko was the Coach of the Year, and NBA Cup MVP was Jason Tatum. And we do once again get Darren Peterson on the first team, averaging 21.2, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. Again, really solid defensive stats. Any other guy? Oh, we get Rosser on second team. He averaged 19, 10, and 6. Again, really solid defense. His offense could use a little bit of improvement, but he is only 20 years old. Third team NBA, we don't get anyone there. All defensive first team, nobody. Defensive second team, nobody. And probably no rookies either. So, yeah, let's go ahead and see where we finish this season. All right, so we did finish as the 3rd seed. Looks like we're going to be playing the Lakers in the first round. I believe we played them last year, too. They picked up OG Anunoby, Bronny James, up to an 83. Jared McCain, Ryan Dunn, Walker Kessler, cool. But we ended up averaging 120 points per game, allowing 116 for a 4.2 point differential. All right, and here are the stats for the rest of the guys this season. We already looked at the top 2. Tyron Stokes only averaged 16, 5, and 4. Derek Queen ended up averaging 14.5, 8 boards, 6 assists. Dariq Whitehead, 12 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, and the rest of the team, not much to be impressed with. Let's go ahead and see how we do in the first round of the playoffs here. We don't have to worry about a play-in opponent, I guess. But we're going to go ahead and sim pass this round versus the Lakers. And we take that one in 6. We are playing the defending NBA champion Phoenix Suns in the second round. Let's see if we can get past them. And we end up sweeping them. And San Antonio beats the Rockets. So that means this team has a chance to make the finals. As the home court team in this series against the Spurs, we already kind of know who they have. So let's go ahead and sim this one game by game and see how they do. We win game 1. We win game 2. We win game 3. Okay, we lose game 4. Okay. But we win game 5. And this team is in the finals. And they're going to be playing the Atlanta Hawks. Darren Peterson averaged a triple-double in the conference finals, obviously winning the MVP. Caleb Holt is the finals MVP Caleb Holt was the Eastern Conference Finals MVP for the Atlanta Hawks. Let's see how we match up with them. I'll simcast these games in case we get to jump in. But hopefully we can just win this. Let's see. We're up early in game 1, and it looks like we're pulling away. But they are starting to come back. But we do win by 4 in game 1. Darren Peterson with 29, 7, and 9. Derek Queen, 25 and 5. Dariq Whitehead, 19 and 7. Roster with 13 and 10. Tyron Stokes only had 7 points, dang. But we did win the game, so not that important. Let's see what round 2 brings, or I should say, let's see what game 2 brings. They are up early in this one. We started to come back, but it looks like they are going to lay flat and drop game 2. We put up 112 points and gave up 148. Darren Peterson had 40 points, but it did not matter as Jalen Johnson, I forgot he was on this team, obviously, Reese Shea, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Caleb Holt, Nathan Solomon, wow, and Porzingis still on the team. Was that Jared Allen? Yeah. Walter Clayton Jr. This team is pretty stacked. Dyson Daniels still on the team. Maybe we will actually lose this series, but I guess we'll see. Game 2, here we go. Or game 3. Wow, I don't know exactly what's going on this series at all. This is game 3, not game 2. It looks like we're going to drop this one to the Hawks. Another pretty nice stat one for Darren Peterson. Derek Queen as well. But the rest of the team has got to pull through, or else we are not going to win this series. Let's see what game 4 brings. We are up pretty early in this one. Let's hope we don't blow a lead. And, of course, that's exactly what's going to happen as we lose by 2. I was about to jump into that one, but did not stop it in time. Darren Peterson, another crazy game, 41, 11, and 7. Yeah, this team is just way more well-rounded than ours, I think, which is saying a lot considering our team is pretty well-rounded as well. But, I don't know, maybe this team will come back 3-1. We'll see. We are back in Hawaii for this Game 5. Let's see if we can hold a lead for once and extend this series. We do. It's going to Game 6. CJ Rosser pulls through for probably his best game of the playoffs, 35, 10, and 7. He's averaging 19, 11, and 7 for the playoffs. But now we have Game 5. We have Game 6 coming up, okay? Game 6, I promise. Let's go ahead and have the CPU adjust the rotations here. I'm going to bring it down to a 9-man rotation, and that's going to change it up just a little bit. Just to help this team's odds a little bit of winning this Game 6. Let's see if we can take it. Okay, up early and we're up big in Game 6. Hopefully we do not blow a lead here. And, okay, it's going to Game 7. Let's go ahead and see if they can clinch this series and win the Honolulu Breeze, their very first NBA title. All right, here we go, Game 7. I'm hoping I can jump into this one. Let's see if it ends up being a close one down the stretch. And, okay, we have a pretty close game coming down to the end of it. We're up 4, up 6, up 4 with 2 minutes left. Let's go ahead and jump in and see if the Breeze can clinch this series. All right, here we go. Jumping in, we're up 4 with 2 minutes left. Let's see if they can clinch this series right here. See who the Hawks have on the court. Jalen Johnson, I notice him. The other guys, aside from Porzingis, I don't really know. Let's see. I think that's Rosser. He brings it in. That's a miss. Jalen Johnson with the rebound. This court's kind of fire, I'm not going to lie. This is one of the 2K ones, too. Props to them for actually making a good, team design. But let's see here. This guy's going to drive into the paint. And great defense, but he makes the layup. That was a tough look. All right, we're still up 2, though. And let's see. This is Rosser for sure. I know that. Darren Peterson's 22. I think that's CJ Hall, PJ Hall. Oh, Darren Peterson for 3. He misses. Okay, Jalen Johnson, another rebound. We still have the lead, but the time is tickling down. Did I say tickling? I did not mean to say that. I'm going to edit that out. Okay. Good defense there from him. Darren Peterson guarding Holt in the corner. Porzingis with a good screen. Holt puts it over to Porzingis. He puts in the layup. Again, this is game 7, so we have to win this game or the season's done. Okay. Roster on Jalen Johnson. Can we get a bucket? He's going to take it into the paint. He's probably going to get walled up. He blows a layup. Nice. Awesome. Okay. Is this Koa Pete? I think that's who that is. Solomon. He's going to drive it into the paint. Can we get a stop here, please? Good defense. All right, we have a chance to take the lead back. Come on. Let's see it here. It keeps going to Roster like every time. Wow. Almost turnover. Okay. Out to Whitehead. Let's see. Darren Peterson. Let's make something happen here. Ooh, I love that shot. Nice mid-range. He misses it, though. And the Hawks have the ball. Tie game with 22 seconds left. All right, here we go. 22 seconds left. Let's get a stop, boys. Come on. Goes the Ricochet off the inbound. We have all the starters back in. He's going to get right into the paint, and he's fouled by Stokes. We do have a timeout, so they could advance the ball and potentially score a game-winning basket. Let's go ahead and see if Ricochet can hit these free throws. All right, first one for Ricochet is good. Second free throw for Ricochet is good as well. They're going to call timeout. All right, it all comes down to this. Let's hopefully win the game right here. It goes into Topic, and he's going to dribble the ball. I hope this ends up getting to Darren Peterson somehow. He's standing over there in the far side corner. Screen from Stokes. Okay, Topic. Over to Peterson for 3. Bang! Bang! Makes the 3! And we're up 1 with .8. That's what I'm talking about. He has to chuck a full court shot, and it's off. And the Breeze win the championship in stunning fashion. Wow, what a shot from Peterson to cap this one off as the Breeze win their first championship in franchise history. And we end up winning the championship in, I think, year 5. Wow. There go the guys on the bench celebrating. Looks like Zubac was picked up for the team. Free ring for him. Awesome, awesome ending to this game. And let's see. Oh, great branding there. They look like they're working some type of like stagehand show or something. That's pretty funny. But yeah, Darren Peterson is holding the trophy. I'm gonna guess he won Finals MVP just based on how he's done so far this sim. And he does take home the Finals MVP. And like I said, the Breeze win the championship, which only took 5 seasons for this team to do. Crazy ending. Wow. Alright, so that's going to bring an end to this video. Crazy, crazy ending, like I've already said about 10 times. But if you guys want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments what you want to see next. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like on the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.